Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Burnley preview, a game Amorim must win. I mean, anything less than that and the cauldron bubbles up even more. We can't draw, we can't lose, we must win, and we must win convincingly. And even then, people will still not be convinced. It's one of those games that realistically, you just hope you can win 3-0, you move into the international break, you get a couple of signings and you go again after. But the reality is, when is it ever that simple? It's bloody Burnley. The memes are ready to go. Just check out Goldbridge FIFA. You'll have all the stuff you need if Burnley get anything against us on Saturday. We have to win this game of football. Now, look, before we get into what my predicted 11 is and what my 11 would be, you can drop yours in the comments below. How confident are you going into this game? I have to say, I looked at the fixtures at the start of the season, Arsenal at home, Man City away, Chelsea at home in the first 5 and thought they're very, very difficult. Fulham away might be a draw. It was. Burnley, a banker, a home banker. And now the reality bites and I don't see it as a home banker at all. This Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, I actually see it as something else reminding with banker. It could well be. He's got to get his team right. The players have got to turn up. It's the Premier League. It's hard work. You have to win these sort of games. But I just have a bad feeling about it. I don't know whether that bad feeling extends to a bad performance and we scrape it, or it's a draw, or even worse. But I just feel that sometimes when you question the mentality of this team over many years, it comes up short. And when you expect a Man United side to turn up and produce a result, it very rarely happens. If we were playing Man City at home, I'd be more confident. Funnily enough, I think when we're playing the traditional top 6 and the pressure's on, we tend to do well over many years. I always look back to, I think it was Ollie, who had to play Man City and Spurs, or maybe it was Jose, and they were going to get the sack if they lost one of them, and they won both. But against these sort of teams where you go, surely they'll turn up, surely they'll win. It's at Old Trafford and it's Burnley. Time and time again, it tends not to happen. And I think back to last season, there were so many games where we really struggled. I remember actually it was Seb's first game last season. I took him to Old Trafford to watch Brentford. And I thought I've picked a really good game for his first game here. You know, if you're going to take your kid to their first game, you want them to get off to a winning start. 1-0 down at half-time playing absolutely shit. And got by 2-1. You know, we just don't do comfortable. We don't do straightforward. So I think it's going to be difficult. Now, looking at Burnley, it's very, very difficult to predict what they're all about. They've played 3 games this season. They were in the Championship last season. They did win in the Carabao Cup against Leeds 2-1, and they picked a lot of reserves. So well done to them for getting through a very, very difficult tournament. But in the league is what matters. Opening day of the season, they lost 3-0 at Spurs with 32% possession. Last week against Sunderland, they won 2-0 with 41% possession. So can we read into that even when they're at home, they don't want the ball? So are they a team that, that works hard? Are they a team that, doesn't want the ball? Are they a team with a low block? I think they did play with a back 5 at Spurs, but they played with a back 4 at home. Look, they're the sort of team that worries me because they're the sort of team that's going to work hard. And when you work hard against United, you tend to get rewards. Also, if they don't want much of the ball, they're probably going to be good on set pieces. If they can win corners and defend well, this could be 1-0 to Burnley. So we have to go into this game and give it the respect it deserves. We're not very good. We can't just be saying it's going to be 3 or 4-0. So, that's the, interesting thing. Apparently Solskjaer's been sacked. I thought just breaking news. I mean, look, it's 2 a.m. in the UK time. I've just literally had this message through. I thought Solskjaer was doing okay. And he's been sacked. Strange. We'll come back to that. Anyway, the lineup I have gone with for Amorim is as follows. I think that Bienda has to come back in goal. And get your 11s in and your score predictions, of course. Bienda has to play in goal. The back 3 sort of picks itself. De Ligt, Yoro, Luke Shaw. You need a left-sided centre-back. Luke Shaw's probably the best one we have at the moment. De Ligt and Yoro have been two... I mean, look, we drew with Fulham and the goalkeeper messed up against Arsenal. They've actually played really, really well. This is where it gets interesting. Dorgu left wing-back has to be. I've put in Burmo right wing-back. Now, I nearly didn't do it, but then I thought, you know what? Ahmad's really struggling. It looks beyond him at the moment. Delo's too defensive. You've got to try and attack. And I just thought, I don't know whether it's for the future or not, but I just thought, should we put Mbeumo on the right? He's got a good cross on him. He's got good energy. He will stay forward. Should we try Mbeumo on the right? And the reason I want to do it is because, ignoring the midfield for a moment, I want to play Mount with Cunha, or I want to play Xerxes with Cunha. So I want to get Mbeumo, Mount and Cunha, or Mbeumo, Xerxes and Cunha into that starting lineup if I'm Amorim. Because one of the big things about survival is picking the players that are in form. And I don't see Mason Mount as a starter for Manchester United, but I do see him as a player in form at the moment. And Xerxes came off the bench and did well. So I think Mason Mount will start. And to get Mount in the team, you've got to drop Mbeumo or Sesko. And I don't want to drop either of them. So I'll drop Ahmad and put Mbeumo to the right because Ahmad didn't play well. And then I can play Mount and Cunha behind Sesko. So that's what I think Amorim will do. In the midfield, take your bloody pick. Bruno will start, and let's be honest, should start. We're worse without him, no matter how bad you hate him in the midfield, and I don't like him in the midfield. He's still better than what we've got, and that's because we haven't bought any bloody midfielders. So I actually understand why Bruno's playing there, even though I don't like it. He has to play because we haven't bought a midfielder. And then next to him, he might go with Casemiro, and I understand why he might do that, because you certainly can't go with Agate. But I'm wondering, it could be a bloody nightmare, but I'm wondering if he'll pick Mainu and Bruno. Now, we could get run through and dominated, but that could happen with Casemiro anyway. The bottom line is, it's bloody depressing to look at our midfield because you can't build a midfield two that doesn't leave you thinking we're going to get run through. Bruno and Agate, Bruno and Casemiro, Bruno and Mainu, Mainu and Agate, Mainu and Casemiro. It's just not, it's none of them. You need two energetic midfielders, and we haven't got one. So I don't know. The midfield is, you know, with the Polo FC, mint with the hole, we've got no midfield, and that might be where the game is won and lost, and it's going to be a big problem. The depressing thing is that's not going to resolve itself all season. So after the international break, when we go to the Etihad, when Chelsea come, when we play Liverpool, when we play Forest, when we play Newcastle, when we play all these teams, every bloody game, I can't construct a midfield. We haven't got any injuries. I just can't build a midfield to compete. It's criminal. Criminal. Clip me up. It's criminal that Man United cannot build a midfield all season. I can't build you a midfield for next season out of Bruno, Mainu, Casemiro and Agate. Individually, they have their strengths, but there is not a midfield two that can compete for the top half of the table. It is an absolute sieve midfield. It's got so many holes in it, and it's a big, big problem. And if we don't solve that problem, and I don't see how we can before the transfer window closes, I don't care who the manager is. I don't care who's in the starting lineup. That team is not going to do very well with a midfield like that. It's just not. We can't build a midfield. We need a glow up of, epic proportions from an Agate or a Mainu to get this season back up and running. And I don't know whether they can do that. I think it's a huge ask, really. So that's how I think he will go. That would mean Ahmad on the bench, which, to be honest, based on his start to the season, nobody justifiably starts in the team. I do like Ahmad, and we all went through free Ahmad, but to be honest with you, bench Ahmad is about right. If you don't perform, you don't start. You can't be picked on reputation. I'd like to see Mbeumo play off the right. I'd like to see Mount or Xerxes start with Cunha and Sesko. I'd like to see us start on the front foot. I would I'll bloody love to beat Burnley. I'll bloody love to beat Burnley. And for multiple reasons, many, many tough fixtures on FIFA over the years, but also this is a big game for United. I didn't think I'd be saying this so early in the season. This is a must win, and we must play well. And that is a double ask that we may not achieve. I'm going to say Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. I'd like to be saying 3 or 4-0, but I'm going to be real, and I'm going to say that of all the times over the years where we've played these types of games and said it should be a standard 3-0 win, it hasn't turned out like that. I think it will be tough. I think it will be frenetic. I think it will be frustrating. I think it will be nail-biting. And I just hope we come out of it with a win, because if we don't, and we've got 2 points from 9 or 1 point from 9, and we're going into the international break, it's not going to be the rest we deserve. It's going to be stressful and pressurised. We're not playing in Europe when we come back from the break. I see Liverpool are playing Real Madrid and everything else like that. I've seen all the Champions League draws. We're not in it. So if we're not going to be in Europe and we're going to have a shit Premier League season once a week, it's going to be an absolutely terrible season, of which I don't think any of us have witnessed in a very, very long time. So we need a bit of positivity. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video. What do you think on the team? What do you think about Mbeumo off the right? Is that a bad idea or a good idea? Would you play Mount or Xerxes? What do you think about the midfield? Do you think Bienda will start? And also, what's your score predictions? And how confident are you going into this game? Because I'll be honest, I'm not. Should be, but I'm not. Take care. I'll speak to you on the next one.